Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel.
General Hospital spoilers. November 17th brings family confrontations, courthouse drama, and dangerous power plays. Port Charles residents, prepare yourselves for an explosive Monday episode on November 17th, 2025, as General Hospital delivers intense family confrontations, shocking courthouse revelations, and dangerous manipulations that will leave viewers breathless. The upcoming episode promises to shake the foundations of several key relationships while introducing thrilling new complications that could alter the trajectory of multiple storylines for weeks to come. Carly Corinthos returns to shocking family developments. The blonde powerhouse makes her highly anticipated return to Port Charles, only to discover that her absence has allowed some deeply concerning developments to unfold right under everyone's noses. Carly Corinthos, never one to mince words or hold back her opinions when family is involved, walks straight into a situation that immediately sets off every protective instinct she possesses. The preview footage reveals a visibly distressed Carly delivering a firm declaration to her brother Lucas Jones. "This is not happening." Her tone carries the unmistakable weight of authority mixed with genuine alarm. And it doesn't take long for viewers to understand exactly what has triggered such a forceful response from the usually composed businesswoman. Lucas has made the controversial decision to move in with Marco Rios, and the location of this new living arrangement couldn't be more problematic. The residence in question belongs to none other than Jen Sidwell, a man whose reputation precedes him in the most unsettling ways. Sidwell's home has become an unexpected hub of activity, and not the innocent kind that brings comfort to concerned family members. While Carly recognizes that Lucas is a fully grown adult capable of making his own life choices, this particular decision crosses so many lines that she cannot remain silent. The speed at which this move-in has occurred raises red flags for everyone who cares about Lucas's well-being. Moving into the home of someone with Sidwell's questionable background and dangerous connections isn't just impulsive, it's potentially life-threatening. The confrontation between the siblings promises to be explosive, with Carly pulling no punches as she attempts to make Lucas the reason. However, Lucas may prove more stubborn than his sister anticipates, setting the stage for a family rift that could have lasting consequences. The tension between protecting loved ones and respecting their autonomy has never been more apparent, and Carly finds herself walking that impossible tightrope. Trina Robinson issues a fierce ultimatum to Jordan Ashford. Meanwhile, in another corner of Port Charles, emotions run dangerously high as Trina Robinson confronts Jordan Ashford with the kind of intensity that only comes from watching someone you love suffer. The young college student, known for her strong moral compass and unwavering principles, finds herself pushed to the breaking point by recent revelations about her mother Portia's complicated past. Though Trina doesn't possess all the facts surrounding the situation, a dangerous position that often leads to misguided actions and unintended consequences her protective instincts override any hesitation she might otherwise feel. Standing face-to-face with Jordan, Trina delivers a promise that sounds more like a threat. "I'm going to make sure that he never goes back to you." The venom in her words reveals the depth of Trina's commitment to shielding her mother from further heartache. Someone from Portia's past has emerged, and Trina has decided that this individual poses enough of a threat to warrant extreme measures. The young woman who once prided herself on always taking the high road now finds herself willing to venture into morally ambiguous territory if it means protecting her family. Jordan, caught in the crossfire of family drama she may not have directly created, must now navigate Trina's rage while dealing with her own complicated feelings about the situation. The confrontation highlights how quickly alliances can shift in Port Charles, especially when matters of the heart collide with family loyalty. Trina's willingness to play dirty marks a significant character evolution. The typically level-headed young woman has always relied on integrity and honesty to guide her decisions, but desperation has a way of reshaping even the strongest principles. This development suggests that viewers should prepare for some unexpected and potentially shocking behavior from someone they thought they knew well. Curtis Ashford faces a life-altering conversation. The emotional complexity deepens as Curtis Ashford sits down for a profoundly important conversation with his Aunt Stella Henry. These two have shared countless heart-to-hearts over the years. But Friday's discussion on November 14th carries particular weight as it addresses the elephant in the room that everyone has been dancing around. Stella, never one to sugarcoat difficult truths, delivers a statement that could reshape everything Curtis thought he knew about his future. Portia Robinson's baby changes everything. Those 5 words carry the potential to completely derail Curtis's recent declarations about wanting to reconcile with Jordan Ashford. Curtis had seemed so certain about his feelings, so resolute in his desire to rebuild what he and Jordan once shared. But Stella's observation forces him to reconsider whether those feelings can withstand the reality of Portia's pregnancy and everything that revelation represents. The baby isn't just a biological fact, it's a symbol of connection, responsibility, and a potential future that Curtis may have been too quick to dismiss. Could Curtis experience a sudden change of heart? The preview suggests that his emotional landscape is far more complicated than he initially presented. The pull between past love and present circumstances creates an internal conflict that promises to generate significant dramatic tension in upcoming episodes. Curtis must now grapple with questions that have no easy answers. What does he truly want? Who does he truly love? And can he make peace with whatever decision he ultimately reaches? Devastating courthouse revelations rock Port Charles. The courthouse becomes ground zero for heartbreak and disbelief as multiple storylines collide in a scene that promises to leave viewers stunned. Detective Dante Falconeri's expression speaks volumes before he utters a single word, his face contorted with pain and frustration as he processes information that clearly goes against everything he hoped would happen. Standing beside him, Mayor Laura Collins experiences her own moment of shock, her jaw literally dropping open as she absorbs whatever news has just been delivered. These aren't minor surprises or small setbacks. These are the kinds of revelations that fundamentally alter people's understanding of their circumstances and the legal proceedings at hand. Dr. Britt Westburn, who has been harboring fears about the outcome of these proceedings, discovers that her worst suspicions were justified all along. Whatever she dreaded has come to pass, confirming that sometimes intuition proves tragically accurate. Her confirmation adds another layer of tension to an already fraught situation. Dante's words to Laura cut through the tension with devastating clarity. He should be leaving this courthouse and not coming back. The implications of this statement are profound and troubling. While the spoilers hint that Rocco Falconeri might face extended jail time, the full scope of the legal complications remains tantalizingly unclear. The idea that a young person connected to these beloved characters could face incarceration sends shockwaves through the community. Questions multiply with each passing moment. What charges does Rocco face? What evidence has been presented? And how will Dante, as both a father figure and a law enforcement officer, reconcile his personal anguish with his professional obligations? Elsewhere in the courthouse, Lulu Spencer seeks answers from Sonny Corinthos, her question laced with confusion and perhaps a hint of accusation. Where did that idea even come from? This exchange suggests that Sonny may have proposed some kind of solution or intervention that Lulu finds either surprising or inappropriate. Knowing Sonny's tendency to operate outside conventional boundaries when family is involved, his idea could range anywhere from the merely unconventional to the potentially illegal. Justine Turner's scheme crumbles while Rick Lansing delivers hard truths. Across town, attorney Justine Turner watches helplessly as her carefully constructed plan begins to unravel before her eyes. Whatever strategy she had implemented, whether for a client or for personal gain, proves far less solid than she anticipated. The cracks appear rapidly, threatening to bring down the entire structure she worked so hard to build. Rick Lansing, ever the keen observer of legal maneuvering and human nature, offers his assessment of the situation with characteristic bluntness that should prove to you how determined he is to win. His words carry a warning wrapped in observation, suggesting that whoever opposes Justine possesses both the resources and the ruthlessness to pursue victory at any cost. This development highlights one of General Hospital's most compelling themes. Even the best laid plans can collapse when confronted with an opponent who refuses to accept defeat. Justine now faces a critical choice. Does she cut her losses and retreat? Or does she double down on her failing strategy and risk even greater consequences? Jens Sidwell attempts to charm the uncharmable Ava Jerome. Perhaps the most deliciously tense confrontation brewing involves the dangerous Jens Sidwell attempting to work his supposed charm on Ava Jerome. Sidwell, accustomed to manipulating others through charisma and implied threats, seems to believe he can add Ava to his list of conquests or pawns. This assumption reveals either remarkable confidence or stunning ignorance about exactly who he's dealing with. Ava Jerome is nobody's victim and certainly nobody's plaything. This woman has survived mob wars, legal battles, personal betrayals, and countless schemes orchestrated by people who underestimated her cunning and resilience. She possesses an instinct for survival that rivals any predator in Port Charles, and she's demonstrated time and again that she can be just as lethal and twisted as anyone who dares to threaten her. As Sidwell deploys his charm offensive, Ava remains several steps ahead, her mind already calculating how to turn this situation to her advantage. She understands the game being played because she's been playing it longer than Sidwell likely realizes. Rather than falling for his manipulation, Ava uses her own considerable skills to flip the script, demonstrating that she's not just a match for Sidwell, she might actually be more than he bargained for. Next, Port Charles finds itself in the midst of another brewing scandal, and soap opera enthusiasts should prepare themselves for what could become one of the most explosive storylines this season. The latest General Hospital buzz centers around a potentially career-ending situation involving Detective Harrison Chase, his undeniable connection to Willow Tate, and the watchful eyes of his newly assigned partner, Nathan West, the new power structure at PCPD. The Port Charles Police Department has undergone significant leadership changes in recent weeks, with Commissioner Anna Devane mysteriously departing on what officials are calling a highly classified WSB assignment. While the Bureau maintains that Anna's absence is purely professional, whispers throughout Port Charles suggest there's far more to this story than meets the eye. What residents do know for certain is that Anna's supposedly temporary departure has left a critical power vacuum at the top of the PCPD hierarchy. Mayor Laura Collins, demonstrating her characteristic decisiveness during times of crisis, wasted no time appointing Detective Dante Falconeri to serve as interim police commissioner. This promotion represents a significant milestone in Dante's law enforcement career and places him in an incredibly challenging position. Not only must he maintain order within the department and oversee ongoing investigations, but he's also responsible for managing interpersonal dynamics among officers who were recently his peers and colleagues. One of Dante's first major decisions as acting commissioner involved reinstating Nathan West to active duty. The announcement came as welcome news to many within the department who respect Nathan's dedication and investigative skills. However, this decision also came with strategic considerations. Dante understands that Nathan's return provides an opportunity to address some concerning patterns he's observed, particularly involving Detective Harrison Chase, a partnership with hidden motives. When Dante assigned Nathan as Chase's new partner, the pairing appeared straightforward on the surface to dedicated detectives working together to serve and protect Port Charles. However, those familiar with Dante's management style recognize that this partnership serves a dual purpose. During their private conversation about the assignment, Dante made his expectations crystal clear to Nathan. Beyond their standard investigative duties, Nathan has been tasked with a delicate mission, monitoring Chase's behavior and ensuring he maintains professional boundaries, especially when it comes to Willow Tate. Dante's concerns aren't unfounded speculation or paranoid micromanagement. He's witnessed firsthand how Chase's judgment becomes clouded whenever Willow enters the picture. The history between Chase and Willow runs deep, filled with genuine affection, painful separations, and lingering what-ifs that neither has fully resolved. Despite Chase's marriage to Brooklyn Quartermain and Willow's complicated entanglement with Michael Corinthos, the undeniable chemistry between Chase and Willow continues to simmer beneath the surface, threatening to boil over at any moment. Nathan accepted this assignment with full awareness of its complexity. Monitoring a fellow officer, especially one he'll be working alongside daily, creates an uncomfortable dynamic that could strain their professional relationship. Nevertheless, Nathan understands the importance of maintaining departmental integrity and protecting officers from making career-destroying mistakes driven by emotional impulses rather than sound judgment. Chase's dangerous obsession. The catalyst for all this concern revolves around Chase's increasingly intense fixation on clearing Willow's name. What began as reasonable support for someone he cares about has evolved into something far more consuming and potentially problematic. Chase has thrown himself into conducting his own investigation, convinced that he can uncover evidence that will exonerate Willow and prove her innocence in whatever legal troubles currently plague her. While such loyalty might seem admirable in theory, Chase's approach has begun raising red flags among those who know him best. His objectivity has evaporated, replaced by tunnel vision that prevents him from seeing potential flaws in his reasoning or recognizing when he's crossing ethical boundaries. Colleagues have noticed him spending excessive hours poring over case files, making phone calls during off-duty hours, and following leads that may not meet the standards of proper investigative protocol. The most troubling aspect of Chase's behavior is his apparent willingness to bend or break departmental rules if doing so might help Willow. In his mind, the ends justify the means. If he can prove Willow's innocence, then whatever shortcuts he takes along the way will be forgiven or forgotten. Unfortunately, this mindset represents exactly the type of thinking that destroys police careers and undermines the integrity of criminal investigations. The inevitable confrontation. Given Nathan's assignment to watch Chase closely, a confrontation seems inevitable. Nathan possesses sharp observational skills and won't miss the warning signs that Chase's investigation has become personal rather than professional. The question isn't whether Nathan will notice something problematic, but rather what specific transgression he'll witness and how he'll respond when that moment arrives. Several scenarios could unfold, each carrying serious consequences for everyone involved. Chase might obtain evidence through questionable means, perhaps accessing files he shouldn't have clearance for, interviewing witnesses without proper authorization, or failing to follow chain of custody protocols. Any of these violations could render potentially exculpatory evidence inadmissible in court, actually harming Willow's defense rather than helping it. Even more explosive would be if Nathan catches Chase and Willow in a compromising romantic situation. The chemistry between them has always been palpable, and under the stress of Willow's legal troubles, old feelings could reignite with devastating consequences. Picture Nathan arriving at an unexpected location, perhaps following up on a lead Chase mentioned, only to discover Chase and Willow locked in a passionate embrace. Or imagine Nathan witnessing them entering a hotel suite together, their body language leaving little doubt about their intentions. Such a discovery would place Nathan in an impossibly difficult position. He'd have direct evidence that his partner is violating his marriage vows and potentially compromising an investigation through emotional involvement with a key figure in the case. The professional requirement to report this information would conflict with the natural reluctance to destroy a colleague's career and marriage. Ripple effects across Port Charles. The potential fallout from Chase's actions extends far beyond his own career prospects. Brooke Lynn Quartermain, Chase's wife, deserves to know if her husband has betrayed their marriage. Dante, who has his own family connection to Brooke Lynn through the Quartermain Corinthos network, would likely feel morally obligated to inform her about Chase's infidelity. This obligation becomes even stronger considering Dante specifically asked Nathan to monitor Chase's behavior. Brooke Lynn has invested tremendous emotional energy into her relationship with Chase, believing they had finally found their happily ever after following numerous obstacles and misunderstandings. Discovering that Chase has rekindled his romance with Willow would devastate her, potentially triggering a vindictive response that could make an already messy situation even more complicated. Brooke Lynn doesn't accept betrayal quietly, and her reaction could send shockwaves through multiple Port Charles families. For Willow, the consequences could prove equally severe. If Chase's investigation becomes publicly linked with a romantic relationship between them, any evidence he uncovered would immediately be questioned and potentially dismissed as biased or manufactured. Defense attorneys and prosecutors alike would pounce on this connection, arguing that Chase's personal involvement taints everything he touched regarding Willow's case. What Chase intends as helpful intervention could transform into the prosecution's strongest weapon against Willow. Nathan's moral dilemma. As this situation develops, Nathan finds himself caught between competing loyalties and ethical obligations. On one hand, he has explicit orders from his superior officer to monitor Chase and report any problematic behavior. Failing to do so would represent a dereliction of duty and could implicate Nathan in whatever scandal eventually emerges. On the other hand, reporting Chase means potentially ending a colleague's career and destroying his marriage, actions that weigh heavily on anyone's conscience. Nathan must also consider the broader implications for the PCPD's reputation and effectiveness. If Chase's misconduct becomes public knowledge without the department having addressed it internally, the resulting scandal could undermine public confidence in Port Charles law enforcement. Critics would rightfully question how officers are supervised and whether personal relationships are allowed to corrupt official investigations. The timing of this dilemma couldn't be worse for Nathan, who recently returned to active duty and is still finding his footing in the department's current dynamic. Making waves by reporting a popular colleague could create enemies and complicate Nathan's reintegration into PCPD culture. Yet remaining silent while witnessing clear violations would compromise Nathan's own integrity and professional ethics. What lies ahead? General Hospital spoilers strongly suggest that this powder keg will explode sooner rather than later. Chase's obsession with helping Willow appears to be intensifying with each passing episode, making it increasingly likely that he'll cross a line that can't be uncrossed. Nathan's watchful presence means that when Chase makes his critical mistake, there will be a witness who can't simply look the other way. Viewers should prepare for dramatic confrontations, difficult revelations, and relationships tested to their breaking points. The fallout from whatever Nathan witnesses and subsequently reports to Danta could reshape the personal and professional landscape of Port Charles. Chase may find himself facing termination, criminal charges for misconduct, and divorce proceedings all simultaneously. Willow's legal situation could deteriorate despite Chase's good intentions. Brooklyn will be forced to decide whether her marriage can survive such a fundamental betrayal. As this storyline unfolds in the coming weeks, General Hospital fans will witness whether love, loyalty, and good intentions can overcome the consequences of crossed boundaries and broken trust. One thing seems certain: Nathan West's return to the PCPD has placed him at the center of a scandal that will leave no one involved unscathed.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Bye.